Emmanuel Macron of France have made a comment that not many people are very happy with.
Mais je vous dis simplement que l'esprit qui régnait ce soir, c'est qu'autour de 5 actions que j'ai évoquées, le consensus était là et que nous sommes prêts à faire aussi longtemps que nécessaire et tout ce qui est nécessaire pour que la Russie ne puisse gagner cette guerre.
Emmanuel Macron, good-looking man. He is good-looking. He's young compared to many other presidents from France, and very ambitious. Emmanuel Macron has made a comment during a speech. He says that they will not rule out presence of military, meaning soldiers from Europe, from France, in Ukraine, in the war against Russia. And that has infuriated many people, including the Russian president, and many people have distanced themselves from what Emmanuel Macron said. So once again, Emmanuel Macron's statement have provoked international outcry 20 months after suggesting that Russia shouldn't be humiliated. So if you remember, Mr. Macron said that as much as Europe is trying to help Ukraine, well, they try to defeat Russia. They should not try to humiliate Russia, because by trying to humiliate Russia, they could be unleashing another side of Russia. I mean, let me just give you a simple example. When you attack somebody who has nothing to lose, what does he do? It can be catastrophic. Sometimes when you fight somebody in terms of war, when you fight a troop that is valiant, that's very strong, you give them an opening so they can run away. Because people who know they have nothing to lose, they will give everything on the table. Okay, so that was the idea with which Emmanuel Macron wanted to speak. He said, you know what? Let's give the Russian president some honor. Let's not crush him when we go to Ukraine. Let's give him an opportunity to save his face. Okay, now many months later, he's speaking very differently. He's saying we should not exclude an option of sending troops in Ukraine, meaning openly sending French soldiers in Ukraine. So on Monday, Emmanuel Macron had a conference in Paris in support of Ukraine. They discussed many things, but obviously they had the Ukraine matter on the table. His suggestion was met with strong reaction, even some consternation. There will be no US troops on the ground in combat role in Ukraine, said National Security spokesperson John Kirby. So John Kirby said, you know what? We are not sending troops in Ukraine. We are not interested. Emmanuel Macron is you are your own person. You can speak for yourself. We are not sending troops in Ukraine. We're not interested in that. The United Kingdom said it has no plan to make a large-scale deployment beyond the small numbers of personnel in the country supporting armed forces in Ukraine. So the United Kingdom also say, you know what, Macron, you're on your own on this. It's like sometimes you want to speak for everybody. And then people go like, sorry, speak for yourself. Don't speak for us. So they have clearly distanced themselves from the idea of sending troops to Ukraine to fight Russia. Those attending the Paris conference on the war sought to distance themselves from the option discussed on Monday evening by Macron. So they don't want to be involved like that. Why? It is a big question here. We all know that people were trying to push Russia back into Russia for the reason that everybody knows. It has been very difficult. It has been more difficult than people anticipated, with all the help that Ukraine has gained from the European nations in terms of military, in terms of weapons, in terms of media and all that. Everybody expected the counter-offensive from Ukraine to be total, to push back the Russian back into Russia. But unfortunately, it has not happened the way everybody anticipated. And now it has become very difficult. We also know that America has provided a lot of weapons to Ukraine to fight Russia. Europe has participated as well. But right now, the opinion of Americans have changed drastically. And people in politics don't even know if they should provide the support they gave to Ukraine for the longest time, because they were criticized. Many people say, why are you sending so much weapons in Ukraine while you have problems in America? The money you're spending in Ukraine, why can't you spend it in Detroit to fix it? Have you seen Detroit? Africans that are watching, do you know Detroit? A lot of people want to go to the US. Yes, America is a nice place. In certain places of America is nice. Not all America is nice. Have you seen Detroit? Look at Detroit. Not very nice. A lot of people still living in poverty in America. You have a lot of homelessness in New York, Manhattan, all over the place. Many people living under the bridge, many under the train stations and stuff like that. Many underground. Many people say, why don't America spend that money to fix America, to provide care and help to those people? Get them out of poverty. Why don't America fix healthcare services to provide free healthcare to the people of America? Many people say, why America spends so much money on destruction, on war? War is destruction. Then they spend money on building, creating, soothing the people of America. So there has been a lot of resistance in America. Many people are not up for sending things to Ukraine anymore. So, in other words, if nobody's going to send things to Ukraine to fight the war, it means Ukraine's chances of winnings are very slim, right? So what's next to be done? Find a solution. It looks like out of all this context, Emmanuel Macron is navigating by himself. He's thinking for himself, saying they want to send, I don't know if it's based on ego or anything else, but we are not ruling out the possibility of sending troops in Ukraine. So then again, we know that the Ukrainians themselves want to talk with the Russians. They have what they call the peace conference in Switzerland. We know Switzerland has always been a neutral country, never get involved with wars. I believe they don't have an army right now, a country with no army. I heard talks that people wanted to change that, but Switzerland doesn't want to get involved with any of the wars. And that's perhaps one of the reasons why it's such a rich country. So Ukraine want to hold talks with Russia in Switzerland in summer. So the question again is very clear. Who does war benefit? That's a big question. Who benefits from war? Clearly people that are selling weapons. Clearly people that are going to come back and reconstruct the country that's been destroyed. They don't want war to end, because then they can sell weapons. Or then they can come and build, instead of 5 destroyed houses, they can build 35,000 houses. So they want you to continue. So Ukrainians themselves, you can see they're not interested anymore. They want peace. They want to find each other. They want to rebuild. It's been almost 3 years now we're going this insane war that nobody deserves. But is this peace talk going to function? What are they going to ask for from the Russians? Are they going to give some sort of insurance to the Russians so that they can continue living in peace? Now, Emmanuel Macron said they will not rule out the possibility of sending troops in Ukraine. Many people believe there are plenty of European troops in Ukraine already, even though it's not official, nobody's saying it. But the Russians believe there are plenty of European troops that are helping Ukrainians. And this did not go unresponded by the Russian president.
They should eventually understand that we also have weapons, and they know it. I just said it now myself, weapons that can hit targets on their territory. Everything that the West is coming up with now, what they threaten the world with, it can result in a conflict with the use of nuclear weapons, and therefore the destruction of civilization.
Vladimir Putin expressed himself against Macron very clearly. He says, these people are playing. We have nuclear weapons. We're not going to hesitate to use them if it's necessary. So instead of playing political games and diplomatic whatever, we should come together because we're ready to respond. We are not afraid. We can send humanity back to cold age, meaning where there's no civilization. Is Russia capable of doing that? Absolutely. Let me let you know, maybe you don't know this, Russia has the most nuclear weapons in the world. And by even if you are many countries, you attack Russia, if they just have an opportunity to launch all those missiles, we're done. Nobody's going to survive. We're done. Is that what you want? That's a big question. So again, Macron expressed himself saying they're ready to do something. We don't know if it's just intimidation. Sometimes people say, we're going to do something, but they don't really do something. America and Britain have separated themselves from that speech. They said they're not involved. They are not sending anybody to Ukraine. They're not looking into that. The matter of fact is they're not even sponsoring Ukraine anymore. At least not at the level they used to in the past. We all want peace. We want a world where people understand each other. I actually want to travel to Ukraine. You go have a good time. I know we've heard a lot of stories saying the Ukrainians are like Africans. I would like to go see that by myself so I can have a judgment. It's very easy to hear from some other people saying they are racist and stuff. I don't believe Ukrainians are racist. I believe I can go there by myself and see what's up. That's it. Let me know how you feel about this. It's always a great pleasure. We want Russians and Ukrainians to come together because they are very same people. I mean, as much you may say whatever you like. It's when I grew up that I understood, they're actually Ukrainians and Russians. They're different. Well, they are the same people. And I guess sometimes people have issues, but they also have solutions. Do not allow external people to put you in conflict. God bless.